Hey guys, Prison here. I'm profiling my Yosenju deck for you for the April 2020 format. It's a fun control deck that I've been playing for a long time, kind of fits my playstyle, and it's not too expensive to make, and it's pretty competitive. So hope you guys enjoy. I'm starting off. I play 3 of all the commas, Yosenju comma 1, Yosenju comma 2, and Yosenju comma 3. They all get their effects if you control another Yosenju with a different name, and whenever you normal summon one of them, they let you have an additional normal summon of a Yosenju with a different name as well. And then all these guys return to your hand at the end of the turn, which is important. So while you control another one besides him, he can bounce a monster to the hand. If you control another one besides him, he can attack directly, but his attack is halved. And if you control another one besides him, if a Yosenju does damage, you can add a Yosenju card from deck to hand, which is so good. You can search their trap spells or monsters. And the last Yosenju I run is 3 Yosenju Izna. I don't mess with any of the pendulum support. I don't like it. I just like the anti-meta version. Yosenju Izna is a great card. You can activate it from hand, and it solves the summoning problem with this deck. Your opponent can't activate cards or effects when Yosenju monsters are normal or special summon, so it gets around to Torrential Tribute, which absolutely sucks for this deck. It baits out their strikes or their judgments, or make sure they can't do that on your other summons, because once your opponent stops one of your summons, you're done for the rest of the turn. It's like a strike really hurts, or a judgment. He bounces to the hand at the end of the turn like the rest, but he doesn't give you an extra normal summon, so you want to end on him. And the other cool part is he helps like consistency a lot. While you control another Yosenju monster, you can draw a card. So it's really cool. That's all the Yosenjus. The other cool thing about these guys is when you do their extra normal summon, you just can't normal summon themselves again. So like, let's say you opened up with 2 comma 1s and 2 comma 2s. Let's just say that. What you can do is you could summon comma 1, use this effect to play comma 2, and then use comma 2 to play 1 and 1 to play 2 again. So as long as you're summoning ones with different names, you can continue summoning them. So that normal summon effect is not once per turn. You just can't summon them with the same name. Alright guys, last monster we play is 1 Pankratops, because you will always control less monsters than your opponent, so because they all bounce to your hand at the end of your turn. So he's always able to be special summoned, and he's a 26 beater because all your guys are low on attack, and he contributes himself quick effect to pop a card, so you can pop floodgates, back rows, big monsters. Really good. So really nice addition in the deck, even if it's a going first deck. We're on the spells. I play a lot of consistency spells. 3 tanky, because it's basically playing 3 extra copies of every Yosenju you play. It adds level 4 Lower Beast Warrior from deck to hand, and it gives them all 100-point attack buff, so sometimes that extra 100 attack can help you get over things. And I play 3 Duality. You really don't special summon, although I will say in this build I play an extra deck. I feel like it's important in this deck, especially going down R5. So I don't play Extravagance, and even if I wanted to, I don't own it because it's very expensive. But I do like this build. I feel like the extra deck is important. So 3 Duality. Don't special summon a lot. So you can reveal the top 3 cards, add one of them to your hand. 2 Desires, banishes the top 10 cards. You play literally 3 of everything that's important unless it's limited. So not going to hurt you, and you draw 2 cards. And 1 Demise, great in this deck. I actually took first at locals and won a decent amount of games playing it when it was at 3. Sadly, it's at 1 now. What's cool about it in this deck is the end phase effect to discard. You can choose which one to activate first. So like with the Yosenjus, you can activate their effect to return to hand, and then you use Demise. So Demise will resolve first, discarding your hand, and then the Yosenjus will bounce back, so you don't lose anything off of it. And the cool thing too, since you don't special summon them, you normal summon them. When you summon a Yosenju, let's say you had a hand of like 4 Yosenjus and a Demise. You summon all 4 of them, and then you still activate your Demise and draw 3 cards. So you can literally have like an opener of like 7 cards and stuff like that. It's cool. And then 1 Upstart, because 39 card deck's better than a 40. Helps you get to your combos faster. So I really enjoy it. That extra 1,000 life points isn't going to matter once you've stunned out your opponent. So the next card I run, I love in this deck, 3 Quiet Life. This is like literally the only deck that can successfully run this card. You have to activate at the start of your main phase 1 if you control no monsters, which will always be met because unless your opponent negates their effect to bounce back, they bounce back at the end phase of the turn. If you would normal summon, you can't special summon. If you would special summon, you can't normal summon, and that applies to both players. But in our deck, it doesn't matter to us because most of the time we are normal summoning. Because all these guys' effects, they normal summon when they play the next one. It's not special summoning. So it gets around Quiet Life. It slows a lot of the big decks down. Doesn't really hurt us. It does kind of lock us out of our extra deck because we can never keep them on board. So I guess that would be a reason to play Extravagance in the deck if you really want to. But if you don't have this card, or they will try to get rid of this card as fast as they can, then you still have your extra deck to get out of sticky situations. Then we play the 1D Fisher. We don't care if things get banished from our graveyard. It really doesn't hurt us, but it hurts a lot of big decks, so why not play it? All right, that's it for the spell, guys. What goes on into the traps? For effect negation, I play 3 Lost Wind. All of your guys are really small, so I feel like this is better than impermanence because, one, it halves their attack and negates their effect forever. After you've negated their effect, half their attack, it stays until that monster leaves the field, which is cool. And then it's basically like a 2-in-1. When it's in the graveyard, if your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, you can reset it, so you can use it again. So you get a whole bunch of utility out of it. 3 Torrential Tribute, because it doesn't hurt us. We'll never have monsters on board, really, to use it, unless you want to force the activation on your turn, because they bounce to your hand at the end of the turn. So during your opponent's turn, when they summon, they'll lose all their monsters, and all your monsters are in your hand waiting to summon again, which is cool. Play 3 Compulsory Evacuation Device, just really good generic removal, just bounce a monster to hand, it doesn't destroy. You can bounce things before they use it to combo off, which is cool. And then I play 3 Yosenju Sword Sting. This new card kind of drew me back to the archetype, because you can search it with comma 3. If you control no monsters, you reveal up to 2 Yosenju monsters with different names in your hand, and you target the same number of face-up cards your opponent controls and bounces them to the hand. The important part with this is it's face-up cards, so it's not just monsters like compulsory or comma 1, so you can bounce floodgates if you need to, field spells, and get rid of monsters, and it's usually always live, because like I said, they bounce back to your hand, so during your opponent's turn, you will control no monsters, you can just bounce that stuff back, which is really good. And I just play the 1 Macrocosmos, because again, it doesn't hurt us to banish, we don't really use our graveyard, but it does stun a lot of decks, so why not play it? Cool thing about this deck too is you can side Rivalry, which is also a really good card. There can only be one really hurts this deck, which sucks, but you can side in a lot of like back row removal, depending on what you're going against if you play another control deck. Rivalry, you can even run Gozen, but that card's usually pretty bad because there's a lot of decks that all have the same attribute but different types. So, like, it still works. But Rivalry is good against certain matchups. That's the only reason why I don't main it, though. There is a lot of decks out right now that don't use different types of monsters, so it's really not good to main deck, but it's a great card to side deck. Alright, on to the extra. I do play a lot of Exceeds in this deck because MR5. We play the 1 Tiger King. He's a walking skill drain. Detach material. All monsters in the field currently have their effects negated except for Beast Warriors. So all your Senjus can still use their effects, but you negate your opponents. And when he's summoned, you set a fire formation from your deck. So it literally just grabs you a free tanky from deck. So why not? Next, we play 1 number 66 Master Key Beetle. He's in there because you can detach material, target a face-up card. It can't be, I believe it's targeted or destroyed by card effects while he's face-up on board. Let me make sure. It can't be destroyed by card effects, so it can still be targeted. But also, if you will be destroyed, you can summon the targets to grave. Honestly, it's just there so you can protect like your Macrocosmos or your D-Fisher, or if you have like a set card that you really need to have to win the duel next turn, like a Torrential or like a Lost Wind, because you know what they're going to do to break your board, you can just summon him and protect it. So it's a cool card, very situational, but you have a lot of space in this extra deck, so it's kind of just there to get you out of all these weird situations that you can get into playing a control deck. 1 Exton Knight. Once per turn during your main phase, your opponent's battle phase, you control less cards, you blow everything up on the board until you guys control the same amount of cards in your hand and on your field. So situational, but it's a great card. I remember when it first came out, it was amazing. It evens game states, and on top of it, I got this card during my wife and I's honeymoon, so it's very special to me as well. So I play it whenever I can play it in. Really good card. Next, play 1 Tornado Dragon. It's an amazing card. Once per turn, it's a quick effect. You can pop a spell trap. So you can play him, pop a spell trap on your turn, pass turn, pop another spell trap your opponent controls, or chain it to like their tanky or their field spell, which is great. 1 Abyss Roller for grave effects. It's good against Orcus. Anything that really activates stuff in grave. 1 Castell. It's got an effect where you can detach 1 material and book a moon something, but that doesn't really matter as much. What mainly matters is you can detach 2 materials and shuffle a face-up card into the deck. So a problem monster, a floodgate, a field spell, that sort of stuff. Then I play 1 number 41 Baguska, the Terribly Tired Tapir. While he's in defense position, everything that is summoned or is on the field gets switched to defense, and if they're switched to defense, their effects are negated. So he's like a skill drain. Doesn't work with links, though, so it's kind of like situational or match-specific, but still a great card to sit on if you don't have a good hand or you got to stall. Also, he can't be destroyed by card effects, so he's in attack position, so you can attack in a lot of back row. Now we're getting into the 3 level 4 Exceeds. I play 1 Harpy's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. This might seem weird, but it's actually a really good card in this deck. It takes 3 level 4 wind monsters. You can only use the effects while it has materials. He can attack your opponent directly, and then your opponent can't target any Harpy monster with effects or attacks. So during each end phase, you detach material, but you get 3 turns of free 2,000 damage, and they can't target him with attacks or effects because he is a Harpy monster. So Great card to run in the deck. Kind of like end out games or use it in time. And you can just summon 3 of these guys. Play them. Another honorable mention for the extra that you can't play. I just haven't put them in to test them. You can put like Gaga Cowboys in here because like you could summon like 4 Yosenjus and do a whole bunch of damage and then overlay them into 2 Cowboys and go for game. So kind of cool in time too. It's just food for thought or cards for thought. Whatever, however you want to say it. And then I play 1 Evil Storm Ouroboros to round out the Exceeds. You can detach 1 material from him to activate one of the effects every turn. You can detach 1 and bounce a monster, detach 1 and send a card from hand to grave, or detach 1 and banish a card. So he's like a Call by the Grave, not as good Delinquent Duo, and he's a compulsory evacuation device. He's got 2750, so he's pretty big. So yeah, I mean, the effect's going to be used on your turn, though, which kind of sucks, but still a decent card. He gives you a lot of utility and a lot of things that you can do during either player's turn. Sorry, guys, just realized that's been in the camera. Sorry about that. All right. We will continue. Links. I play 1 Underclock Taker. Just to get over stuff, you target card your opponent controls, and then 1 card he points to, and that monster that you target loses attack equal to the attack of the monster that he's pointing to. So it kind of helps you just beat over big monsters. Next, play 1 Great Fly. They're all wind. It gives all wind monsters plus 500. If he gets destroyed by card effect or battle, you can add 1 of your Yosenjus back to hand. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. Discard a card, pop a spell or trap. Get rid of Floodgates. Unicorn. Discard a card and shuffle a card. It gets rid of Floodgates or monsters. 1 Bomber Dragon because he can steal games. You won't usually use his effect to blow up all the main monster zones, but he does have a secondary effect that people forget about. When you beat over a monster, you deal damage to them equal to the destroyed monster's attack, so he kind of helps you like steal a game from somebody or in time. And he's got 3k. And if your opponent is stupid and special summons to the zone that's pointing on their side, he blows everything up, which some people forget about. 1 Ouroboros, he gains 200 for each banish card, and since you play Desires, Dimensional Fissure, and Macro, it's good in the deck. And if you play against Orcust or like Necroface or Gunmanju, he can get really big, gains 200 attack for each banish card, so that adds up pretty quick, especially if he starts at 3,000. His other effect I don't use, but it's there. And then I play 1 Borlo Dragon, just 3 effect monsters. He's great. He's just removal for any big boss monster. You can tack into it and snatch steal it, so why wouldn't you? Alright, guys. That's it for the deck. 40 card main, 15 card extra. Sorry about the part of my tripod in the bottom corner. Did not mean to do that, but I hope you guys still enjoyed the profile. Like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me suggestions down below for the deck if you have them. I really do enjoy this deck. If you guys have any better way to play it, let me know, and I will look into it and test it. I will see you guys later.